Hello, this is Jared, about to start a brand new game of Oxygen Not Included, and I'm preparing for a future DLC. And I've got a particular asteroid in mind for that. That's this one here in the Moonlit cluster, and I'll show you why I'm choosing this one. So this is an update from Clay. They mentioned that there's going to be a few paid DLCs coming. Given the fact that I have over 3,000 hours in this game, I do not mind paying for more content. But they mentioned that the first release will potentially be, or plan to be, this year. They say perhaps featuring a chilly new starting asteroid. It's perhaps, so it's not guaranteed, but they did put the effort of putting this little image here, which makes me think there is a decent chance that might just be the case. So that's why I'm choosing this asteroid. It's a pretty chilly place, but in addition to that, I have a frozen core, which makes it even colder. I want to really challenge myself to prepare for this new DLC, so I also selected one that is metal poor. Not only that, though, we are going to game settings and bringing it up to the maximum level for everything. So we've got, we're going to get rid of care packages. We don't have teleportation, so that's not an option. We have to fly off this asteroid if we want to leave. Dupes are eating double the amount of calories for ravenous. They get stressed out easily. And before I have any second thoughts, let's start this game and see how I do. So this is the team I'm starting off with. We have scientists. They have a +8 to science. But they're quick learners, so they're going to get an extra +3. So that's going to help unlock a lot of the technology we'll need to survive. Now, this may seem strange. I've got two dupes that are interested in cooking. That's because I'm insane. And I'm going for the locavore and carnivore achievements. They're both night owls. We'll get them in a later schedule. But they've got a +8 and a +9 to cooking. That's going to be particularly important if I'm going to go for the locavore achievement early on, because these dupes eat twice the amount of calories, and I can't farm anything until 400,000 calories. Name of the colony is Nightmare, because that's exactly what I'm expecting this to be. Let's embark on this mission. Okay, just before we go into this, let's have a quick look around. Temperature is just comfortable. We've got a cold area underneath, but don't forget we've got a frozen core, so it gets very cold underneath. We've got some pips, some wild plants, metal poor, so not getting a lot of metal as we're digging out, so we're going to have to be careful about that. Let's look at the geysers that we'll have access to on this starting asteroid. Don't forget, there's no teleportation equipment, so the only way to get anywhere else is to build a rocket. So we've got cold carbon dioxide, saltwater geyser, water geyser, a cool salt slush geyser, and cool steam. And I don't see any that are just around the immediate area. I'm going to carefully craft a plan, and then I'll get back with my first actions for these dupes. So I now have a plan. I decided my living area is going to be out in this direction, so we'll start digging. That's going to make this a low priority. Actually, no, let's completely get rid of that. So I'm going to put my barracks here. I'm going to put a latrine down here. And I'm going to save a spot for a laboratory for scientists to get busy on some very important research if we want any hope to be able to survive. Let's see, I'm going to have a research station here. I've been with the ladder over by 1. So this is going to be our ladder going up and down the base. We will start off by digging down here. So we'll get that latrine together. Dig this up just so I can get oxygen pumping up and down. We might want to get a little bit further down. I think we'll have enough time on this first cycle. So that'll give me access to a little bit of oxylite. It's also going to give a spot for carbon dioxide to flow down. So the dupes have dug out some space. I'm going to open this up a little bit more so that carbon dioxide can flow down. We've have now access to metal. I'm going to try to sparingly use this, but I do want to create 2 rooms. This room here, I'm a little bit nervous because I want to make sure that this doesn't get, this shine bug doesn't get in our barracks. So I'm going to set this to be high priority. We'll open up this zone here. This is going to be the washroom. This barracks does get created. We're going to get a certain distance away just in case we get shine bugs over here. So we'll want to have 2 cots. We want to have a latrine down here. Just going to put one of those in. And we'll put 3 outhouses. If I can get just this created and a place for carbon dioxide to flow down, I'll be quite happy. Let's see if we can get that 3rd cot in. So now we've got both a latrine and barracks for the dupes to be able to use. Let's go up in this area and get access to a little bit of food. Do not want to run out of that. I plan to get the locavore achievements, which is insane in this particular asteroid. But let's also put together a spot where our power plant is going to be. It's going to be in this zone. We make a priority of getting here just to make sure we get lots of oxygen. Dupes are on their first break. So we did get a barracks and a latrine for them to use. And we'll be back on the next cycle where we'll continue expanding to see how we're going to survive on this Nightmare Astroid. So I think it's now time to put a laboratory together. I'm going to save a spot here for supercomputer and water system. So laboratory is going to need 2 research stations. Going to put that next to the light source. Actually, I'm going to put this one here because I don't plan to use that one. That's just to make it an actual laboratory. We will need a power source. So we'll bring a wire over. This is going to be where we're going to generate some power. We'll want to put in a battery. Put that right there. Okay, just make sure we have these dupes moving along. We can actually put in a manual generator. I'm also going to put in a 2nd cot for a future dupe that's going to be arriving eventually. We are 1 cycle away from our 4th dupe. But that does mean that once we have 4 dupes, they're eating for 8 dupes at this point. So we have to be very cautious of that fact. Let's put in some wiring here. Won't actually connect this at the moment. Open this whole area up a bit more. Actually, let's make sure we get some ladders together so we can get across. So now I see we have a laboratory. So that's going to improve science research in that. Let's start off with oxygen production. We'll want an electrolyzer, probably higher priority to do. Also want to make sure this stays as a laboratory, so let's ensure this gets closed off. These doors don't have to stay shut. I'm just going to direct this. Actually, we'll put a actually, no, hold on. Dig out a spot. Actually put a pitcher pump. Put that right there. And we're at the end of cycle 2. Research on electrolyzer is just about to be completed. But we have access to a pump. So we're going to create a pump right here. Actually going to create a ladder just so that hopefully they don't have to get their feet wet and drenched as they're going in here. This pump is going to need some power, so we'll power that up. We're going to send that to electrolyzer. So this is going to do what? Oh, someone's a little drenched. But yeah, we'll send it there for now. I think I'm going to put the electrolyzer up here. Oh, I'm going to bring that down 1 tile. So this is going to be our oxygen source. Once all the oxy light runs out, this too, it will need some power. So let's get that plugged in. And once we have this, we'll have an oxygen source for our base. So we've got our first dupe arriving. There's a good chance I'm probably not going to like them. I want someone very strong ranching skills. So I'm going to do a save here and do a reload until I get a dupe that has strong ranching. So here is Rancher, +7 to ranching. They're also a Night Owl. Speaking of which, we have to get some proper scheduling together. I was tempted by these two other dupes. One that's very good at digging, quick learner, and two other positive traits. But there isn't that much to dig around here because it's a small asteroid. We also have diver's lungs, but oxygen isn't going to be the problem. Food is. So we're bringing in a Rancher. And we've got a cot for them. So I've created a few schedules all offset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first slide Rancher into this schedule to take advantage of this. I'm going to put Baker and Chef over here so they can start their break, but to probably move them to a lower one next cycle. We're at the end of cycle 3. I see some dupes eating on the floor, so what I'm going to do... Actually want to research a ranch anyway, so advancing towards meal preparation is not a bad thing. We'll start to dig out a spot for the dupes to be able to eat in the evening. I want to make sure the dupes concentrate on the right thing. I see Ranch over here doing some science research, and that's probably best left to scientist. So let's go to priorities. Scientists, I'm going to say researching. Everyone else will be lower on that scale. With ranching, we don't have that yet, but that's going to be a priority for Rancher. Baker and Chef, at some point, they're going to be cooking. And when they do, that's going to be the priority for them. Lower for everybody else. So we've got research available for Mess Hall. I'm going to actually make it so we can upgrade that to Great Hall. We do have dupes that tend to get stressed out easier. So let's put in 4 places for them to eat. Open this up a bit. We'll see if we can get that upgraded to a Great Hall soon. Oxygen level at the moment is okay, and we'll eventually have our electrolyzer turned on pretty soon. Pump has turned on. That's sending water over to this electrolyzer. That should start running pretty soon. And we've got the Mess Hall, which with some research from scientists, we'll be able to get into a Great Hall soon. Research has been complete here, so I'm going to switch down to decoration item. It's paying off having a dupe that's really good at research. We're getting through that pretty quickly. Let's get into the world of automation with some metal. Create it with the rock crusher. Can also put the finishing pieces on this area here. Let's put in, let's go with blue since we have a particularly cold world. Put a flower pot right there. And that should give us a Great Hall pretty soon. Let's also, I want at least 5 dupes. I'm not sure if I can get up to 6 comfortably, because that would mean they're eating for 12. But we'll have cot available for the next one that's going to be in about 2 cycles. As these dupes are working away, I see they're holding their breath. So I'm going to dig a spot down for carbon dioxide to flow out. Maybe we'll even get access to this little oxygen bubble with some a little piece of oxylite. I'll open it up a little bit just to really encourage that carbon dioxide to flow down. Small little scheduling change. I want to move Chef and Baker away from this because I don't want them to have bath time during their optimal period, but also don't want them to be working at the same time. I want them to be offset since they both do the same skills, so we'll set them there. We're about to have a Great Hall. Now, very quickly want to change this to water because I don't want water, or non-water, since I don't want water to be consumed. That is strictly just there for technically making this a Great Hall, which we now have. So we've got laboratory, barracks, latrine, and a Great Hall. Let's dig up a little bit. We're digging down for carbon dioxide. Let's dig up for the sake of getting hydrogen out of the way. Scientists, what can we get them to do next? Let's get a supercomputer together. Get a supercomputer available, so we'll put that right there. Open up this zone. We can get rid of this guy here. Actually, we'll hold that until the supercomputer is built. Let's look at the next research project we can do. Let's get a battery. We have our first skill point to be given out. That is, technically rancher. So I want to get them to eventually do critter ranching to work on the carnivore achievement. But scientists, we can now give advanced research. So we can actually do some research with the supercomputer if we would like. So one of the things I'm expecting to be an issue is this hydrogen. In fact, we can actually turn that towards our advantage. So I'm going to research a pump for that soon, but I also want to get a spot available for our... Actually, I don't think I need to get rid of that one, but we want to get our rock crusher in. We're going to have a new dupe soon. I want to have them have a table to eat at. I'm going to bring power up, so when we eventually get a pump up there, that bit is already done. So my thinking is I'm going to have a metal refinery, or rather the rock crusher, exist right here. But I think this is also a good location for a second electrolyzer. Just to make sure that we are sending oxygen all throughout the base. So that's going to need both power and piping to go into it. Just like that. Can now research a pump so that we can pump in some gas. We'll put in our rock crusher. It's going to go right here. We even give a light source for the lamp right there for whoever's operating that to be able to see what they're doing. Won't fully connect that, but we'll connect everything else. With a pump built, I'm going to design a little area here. We're going to go up a little bit further, just so we can get a spot for dedicated hydrogen. We'll put that pump right there. That will be powered up. Now, we'll also want some research. We'll want a hydrogen generator if we want to take advantage of that hydrogen. So scientists can get started on that. This guy here is going to need some power. And of course, a pipe that goes from here towards our power plant, which is located down this area. See another skill point to be given out. Chef, we're going to give you grilling. Actually, how about we give these guys some hats? Chef, give you your grilling hat. Rancher, improved farming. Scientist is going to get, of course, advanced research. And we don't have anything for bakery just yet. Another skill point, that must be baker. We're going to give you... I'll click on this. Grilling. Really want to make sure we get the locavore achievement. I've tried this a few times, and I keep failing on this particular thing. I don't know if this is actually even possible, but I'm going to find out if I can do it. To meet our fifth dupe, this is engineer. They do have 3 negative traits, but I'm going to give them a pass because they have electrical engineering skill, which will be a big advantage early on. And one is decreased medicine, germ resistance, and bladder. So we'll just make sure we've got a cod available for them. And let's up the priority of this. Just make sure they slide into a slot. I guess they can move them down here. That's nice because I can get research on a power control station a little bit earlier and take advantage of that. It's also nice, actually, let's look at not only that, but I can give them carrying skill, and in 1-2 more upgrades, we'll already have someone that can actually give a more automation build, so give them their electrical engineering hat. So that is very useful at this point in this game. Make sure we get that supercomputer plugged in so it can actually be used, and we'll get rid of this. Construction of the gas pump is nearly complete. So what I'm going to do is put a spot here for the supercomputer to consume water. It's also going to be a spot for the kitchen area that we're going to start to put together over here. This is going to be a very important thing. Now, what I really want to make sure I have happen, and if this is going to work out, is I need to have a good power production system online before the kitchen goes on, because kitchen consumes micro mush or a good amount of power, and that means that I'll have dupes on manual generator unless I have some sort of improved system, which I hope to have. I'm going to open this up a little bit just to get oxygen into these rooms. I'm going to, I think I have the jumbo battery. We'll put a jumbo battery in before I get the rock crusher going. The scientist is celebrating the completion of the hydrogen generator. Let's pair that with a smart battery. Open up a spot here. This is where we're going to dump some liquid for the supercomputer in the kitchen area. I'm saving this area for the pips because I've got some natural trees growing. So put a tree, or a door rather, in there. You will get a jumbo battery. Connect that to the wire. Once we have this, then I'll put in my first order of some metal, which we'll need for a smart battery. Can even put in our hydrogen generator. Food is getting low. I really don't want to get that kitchen online until we got our power situation fixed. So I'm going to dig out a piece of muck root. Or actually, no, this is hexalent fruit. We can't actually get there. So I think this is going to be a second stable for the pips down there with those trees. I'm going to have to be very careful here that those trees don't get too cold, though, if I want that to happen. I think where I'm going to put a hatch, make sure that we don't lose track of this guy. He's very important to our carnivore achievement. We'll start the process of digging out a stable for that critter. So Rancher is working on completing the jumbo battery. So I'm going to put in the first pieces of aluminum. We'll put create 8 pieces. I'll get the pipe. I'm not going to fully connect it yet, but we'll get that pipe going from this guy. You'll get a pitcher pump. Actually have a slight change of what I want to do. Let's put 2 tiles here instead. If we want water to be dropped off here, just need to connect this. Just like that. So that'll give us some water for our supercomputer, as well as we're going to put in a micro musher. Actually, just thinking about this, hold on. Maybe I'm going to put a bin down here for dirt. That's going to be the input to the micro musher. Let's put, I want the micro musher be right up against this guy here. The electric grill. Connect this with power. We're going to have some lights in this area. This up just a little bit. Now this doesn't have to actually be a room, so I'm going to open this just so we can get some oxygen through. But I do want to have a spot for lighting. Actually, maybe I'll cancel it right there then. We'll open up in here because we've got a little bit of oxy light, just give us a tiny bit of oxygen. And the first pieces of metal are being created by Rancher. So while we're creating some metal, let's do some automation. We need to research that, I believe. So we'll research at least this much. Dupe sensor. So we can get some lights. That'll also allow us to make some connection here to a smart battery. When we've got, oh, we've got enough metal now, so we'll build that in. Put that right there. This is actually going to be quite a close call of survival. I've got to up the priority of digging this out because calories are getting low. We don't have our kitchen together. We don't have our hydrogen generator operating just yet. But I think this last piece of Hexcellent, unless we happen to get any food in a couple of these buried objects, will be our last go until this kitchen is ready. We're on cycle 9. Things are starting to heat up quite a bit. And I'm not talking temperature, I'm talking survival. Alright, 8,000 calories. Each of these dupes eat 2,000 a cycle. Keep that in mind. So, I want to very much get this thing operating. So, I'm going to make this the priority. Let's get that going. I don't want to waste time running on the manual generator if we can avoid it. We've got to get this kitchen done. If we want this to be the most optimal, we will want to have lights. So, let's put that in here. Right next to some ceiling lights. Put that right there. With automation wire connecting the two so we're not wasting power when no one's there. Make sure those get plugged in. And now that we have this much, we can connect this together, which means we're going to start getting hydrogen for the first time being sent down to our hydrogen generator. So we've got electric grill created. There's really no time to spare for this. There's not a lot of buried objects, and even the buried objects that are there, there's no guarantee that they're actually going to be a food source. I'm gonna create some ladders just to make it easy for dupes to get across. So this will be a lower priority task, but we're going to store some dirt in here. This is going to be the input to the micro musher. Maybe store half the amount in there. So micro musher, let's create that. Let's get going. I'm going to tell the dupes, consumables, not to eat this or... Let's see. Oh, we need to create the first piece before we see it, but we can create, I think lice loaf. And we've got two dupes, Baker and Chef, that both are prioritizing on using these machines. Baker, speaking of which, let's get you off of this. Maybe you'll go towards the kitchen. Fill this little tile in. There's no time to spare. Yes, you want to celebrate, Baker, but please. Maybe Chef will do it for us. Okay, Chef is on the way. So all the dupes have a low priority of doing that, except for the two dupes that are good at doing this, which is exactly how I want it to be. So we can see why I put this water here, because that's being used to fill the micro musher. The first piece of this to get on the ground, I'm going to indicate to the dupes, don't cook that. This is an important step. Okay, boom, there it is. So now I'm going to tell them, don't cook that, but do cook it in here. So this becomes a priority task. And it's really important we've got this machine operating. Now, I've got to be careful because I don't want non-hydrogen to make its way into the piping. And that hasn't been the case yet. All right, with that... What do I research next on this? I think let's get our stable together. Our first piece of mush fry has been created. So we're going to continue digging this out. This is where our stable's going to be. This is going to be a stable for that hatch. Make sure we still have them around somewhere. There they are. I'm going to actually mark them to be wrangled now. So when a dupe has the ability to do that, we'll be ready. Actually, just going to cancel putting this right there. I'm going to create a door. This is the door to the stables. Either side. Actually, let's put a tile there. One more dupe. I have to pause for a minute to decide if I can take on one more dupe. I'm eating enough calories for 10. Do I want to get 6 and eat enough calories for 12 normal dupes? All right, let me go think about that. So I have decided to take on a 6 dupe. This is going to be the last dupe for a little bit. Fair warning, there's a good chance I made a save point from this section, and there's a fair chance I may be rolling back. But my thinking is I have another dupe now that can do ranching, and there's going to be lots of work. That's going to be, I've got 2 shafts. I'm going to have lots of meat production, and because these dupes are eating twice the amount of calories, I want to make sure that ranching is basically all hands on deck. At least two of the dupes will be strong at doing that. But if I want to have them happy, I need a table for them to eat at. Let's prioritize on extending the barracks so they also have a place to sleep at. Checking their schedule. Veterinarian, they're just about to go on break, so maybe I'll move them down here so that by the time they do go on break, this cot will be ready for them. 2,000 calories. Baker is on the case, creating the amount of some calories for us to consume. So we are extending this barracks out just so we can get one more cot, and this is going to be the final dupe for a certain amount of time. Anyways, we'll see if we can exist consuming the food for 12 dupes with only actual 6 workers. And getting the local carnivore achievement. Let's go. So we're going to cycle 10. One thing I would like to have is a power control station. I already have a dupe, thanks to a dupe that already came with a skill for electrical engineering. So let's make a little bit more aluminum so I can get that created. I'm going to put that right here. So research on a stable is complete. We're going to start that construction right here. Move on with with research. I think what I want next is, because I know that this is a metal poor asteroid, I'd want to minimize the use of the rock crusher. So let's look at where the metal refinery is there, smelting. Give that a research. We're also going to dig out a path to this water. I want a cool liquid body for that. Now, I can actually use the coldness from this world to my advantage in this case, so I can actually use a metal refinery quite easily. Build that in this location. Let's put a ceiling on this barracks as we continue to dig out a spot for this area here. Also want to have a spot to drop off critters and a spot to feed them. This is going to be for the hatch. I'm going to wait to build some metal. Oh yeah, let's also build a power control station. My plan is to no longer use this for metal. Till we get a metal refinery, we'll have to live with what we've got metal-wise. How much is there? Not a lot, 150 units. What I might do is put automated lights for the metal refinery. Put that right next to this. Now that's going to need to be part of the heavy watt wire system. We're going to actually have hydrogen generator with this guy here, power control station. We need to upgrade this and get in a transformer. So let's start that now. So research has been complete on a metal refinery. I'm going to take out this rock crusher. This is where I'm going to put a transformer. I'm going to put one here. So we're going to have to bring heavy watt wire down. We need to bring this into the metal refinery anyway. $12,000 calories. We're on cycle 12 right now. We'll dig out a spot down here. I'm hoping a pip is going to plant some plants here, so we can get a nature reserve at some point. Okay, so we're ready to put in power transformer. We'll put that right there. Get rid of this wiring here. And then once this is built, we can snap this. Just a minute. We really don't want to waste power, or not power, but metal. So we don't want to overload this circuitry. So the sooner this is built, the better. Okay, so we are just currently overloading the circuit. Thankfully, the dupe's just finished construction, so I'm going to disconnect that. And now this circuit on this right side is now safe, which is very nice. So I'm going to bring this heavy watt circuit over in this direction because we're going to have metal refinery sitting right here. Start that construction right now. So for that, we've got the actual metal refinery. We've got that connected. We'll have that connected to the heavy watt wire system. We'll also need to get over here where we'll have a pump that can actually provide that with cooling liquid. For research, how about we get the incubator together? I think that would be important. Also, let's up the priority of this. Because if we can get some tune-ups here, we're getting even more power. So engineer just put the finishing touches on this, so we're going to say you can start using that to give these machines some extra power production. Now we can have another dupe if we want it. But, yeah, no, I'm thinking I've got to stop. Wait for calories to build up a little bit before I consider bringing anyone else on. Though, preemptively, I am going to put a... Maybe I get rid of... Oh, you know what? Let's actually keep that. Just want to have a spot for the future dupe, even though I don't plan on having a new dupe anytime in the short term. Big moment right here. I have the ability to give critter ranching one skill. Actually upgrade their hat at the same time. And veterinarian, I'll give them improved farming so they can work towards that as well. So I should see this guy be wrangled soon. Also want to put together a stable over here. This is going to be for the pips. Some tiles there so nothing gets planted. Open this area up a little bit. Also need a drop-off spot for pips. And once we have that room ready, we'll wrangle you. So let's now say that I want hatches sent here. We'll do that. High priority. Put in 7 of them so we can get some meat production. We still need to dig out this a little bit. It is cycle 13 on this Nightmare Astroid. Nothing specific to point out right now other than literally just that. Just waiting for these dupes to finish up some construction. I did get a little bit of oxygen in these pipes, so before that made its way to the hydrogen generator, replace those out. Scientists can now have field research. Okay, so we have run out of water over here. A little bit of water in the pipe so we can still produce oxygen. This is definitely a nightmare. Let's see if we can do anything about that. I'm gonna start digging up. I'm gonna try to avoid water getting through that dirt. Go up like this. And if we can get around and up into this water, we can tap into that as a water source. We'll need a ladder. Just like that. So this is gonna be, we're gonna need a pump. Put that pump right there. Actually, I'm going to try to make it so I can avoid getting the dupes wet. Let's put the pump initially right here. Have that go down. Now, this is going to be a high priority task because we cannot run out of water. Cannot run out of food. Cannot run out of water. Water is used for both of those things. This is going to need some power as well. Connect this through. Also want to make sure I get that stable built. Okay, so it is actually ready now. So let's tell the dupes we want some pips in here. High priority. We'll start wrangling them. Get this guy selected. I think there was at least one other pip somewhere. There's one. And was that the two? Oh my. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, well, I'll keep going and see how far I can get before potential disaster. Chef, we're gonna give them grilling too, so that they can cook even faster in the kitchen area. Now we've got the ability to get Baker their grilling 2 skill. So I'm kind of regretting getting rid of the rock crusher. I think I need to get that back for one final push, just to make sure that we get our incubator. Incubator's going to go into this zone. Also cannot run out of water, so let's make this our priority action. Last piece to this system here, we're getting a pump in, and that couldn't come soon enough because we're completely out. Gonna do a disconnect right here. Just we only have a single source at the top here for water. I am gonna have to drop that as that gets used up though. So I see 16,000 calories. This system of Baker and Chef running the kitchen seems to be working out. I think I can get away with one more dupe. We've got a cot for them. I have a table that's up that priority so they have a spot to be able to eat. Create some metal, just enough to get that incubator built. And I think this is going to be where I'm going to put that. So I think I have the, oh no, another piece of technology I want. Let's see, this guy here, automatic dispenser, that's going to be important to the incubator. About to take my 7th dupe. This might be a mistake. I did make a save point, so I could very well be reloading to just before this point. This dupe is astronaut. They also have interest in supplying and tidying. I'm going to give them the skill of digging through granite. So we are not up in space just yet. Alright, so I can now make an incubator. So put that together over here. Let's see, that's this location. I want that to be, let's see, right here. Get someone to dig that out. I should have the technology to drop off items. Yeah, there we are. Automatic dispenser. I'm going to put one here. And one there. This is for moving eggs around. We will have our incubator sitting right here. For the wall. I'll connect everything like that. So the incubator is going to need some power. I have a separate circuit just here. Moving dupes around, getting them out of the way. So that part of that is this setup here. So this is going to connect if I've got enough metal. Okay, good. So this is dual purpose. It's going to control whether the dupes can access a manual generator or not. It's also going to control lights. Ceiling light right there. And I want to control access in and out of these 2 rooms. So make sure the dupes can't jump over that. Okay, maybe now that's the last time I'll use a rock crusher for generating metal. Scientists, apparently not the smartest of the dupes, after all, got themselves stuck. So let's get some ladders together to help them out. Incubator's nearly done, so I'm going to instruct the dupes to drop critter eggs here. And also control access. I'm going to say Rancher is allowed in, but no one else is. That means Chef, please move out of the room. Everyone else is allowed in here except for Rancher. And I should see eggs such as this make their way over here. While we're waiting for that, let's put in any future metal I want to have be created by this mechanism. Metal refinery. Also put in drop off. You can drop off the liquid just a little bit further away. Where it's actually a little bit cooler over this zone. That could actually work out quite well. Connect that like this with a bridge. Okay, so that's going to give us the ability to make metal. Let's get this machine running. I should have one of each of the eggs. We'll start with this. Trap Rancher in this room. Now, I don't even know if this is possible, given the small amount of eggs, to get the carnivore achievement, or even survive further on, for this matter. But I guess I'll find out. So yeah, we're out of power, are we? We really need to get that machine running. Yeah, we need to enable this machine. Well, Alright, someone needs to get on that manual generator, and we need to get Rancher back, because if it is possible, it's going to be very close. Engineers, turn this back on. Maybe if I can bump them to walk close to it, they'll actually get on it. I think they're doing an upgrade. Baker, maybe Baker will. There we are. Rancher, let's let you finish your pipe. And then we'll get back up in this room. See if we can incubate these eggs. Where are you, Rancher? Hopefully you're not on break anytime soon. Let's have a look. Let's see, Rancher. Yeah. Quickly now, quickly. Before you go take your break. We need power again. Somebody, please. Please get on this thing. Thank you, scientist. Woo! Okay, so our first egg is getting the lullaby effect applied to it. Just gonna click on it. Yep, lullaby effect. And we've got a pip egg. I'm expecting that to be in that room. Oh, is that not a high priority? I need to up that priority. Where's that pip egg? It's right there. Okay, what I'm going to do actually is move this one, set this to a move to right there at very high priority 9. Move that back down to 5. So someone should be on their way to pick that up. I don't know that we're going to get this in time. Rancher to go on break. Astronaut, come on. Rancher, it's probably best just to keep you in this room so I can get this egg incubated. Okay, and if I click on this, Rancher should pick it up. This is good, this is good. Rancher's putting it into the incubator. They're going to attend to this for a moment. When they're done, they can go on break. Because I know they're hungry. Alright, that has a little by effect, so that can be removed, so we're not wasting power. Rancher can leave. Whoa. Alright. I still have no idea whether this is even going to be possible, but that improves the chance somewhat. Let's make sure these guys are happy. Got one there. We've got... Oh! One of our pips is elderly! Wow. My luck is, Well, I did call this Asteroid Nightmare, so... it is what it is. So up in this zone, I've got a little bit of hydro. I might want to relocate this up there. So the next thing I'm going to do is get the dupes to install a fire pole. I might be claiming this back because we're on metal short asteroid, but for the meantime, it's going to help them travel in the down direction. So we've got lots of hydrogen. I think what I'm going to do now is build a pump way up here. So we can utilize all of that and get it out of the way for the dupes that are exploring. Very carefully watching these eggs. The moment they don't have the lullaby effect, going to be getting Rancher to go back in that room. Connect that like this. See a rot pile right here? That's not good. That means our food's been going bad. So what I want to do now is get a spot where it's extremely cold. Colder the better, and where carbon dioxide exists. Not sure that we're not gonna be able to get it in a deep freeze, I don't think. But if we go down, I do have a dupe that can dig through granite. And we'll try to get into here to have our food storage area. On the research side, might want to have actual fridge or a deep freezer system. I'll need to insulate a tile to make that happen, so we'll begin research of that. Base of this, that's where I'm going to plan to put a fridge. And it'll just take advantage of the natural coolness that's down there. Bronze cycle, 18th, the end of it. We're at 0 calories. Chef and Baker just don't seem to be able to keep up. Maybe they will. We'll give it another cycle or two. There is a possibility I may be going back to the point where I only had 6 dupes. We shall see. Get rid of this pump. This pump here needs to be dropped down a little bit. Right there. Now this is a concern because we need water. More water than is available to us in this spot. This is just going to be a very short-term fix. We've got some water over here. We've got salt water. I don't want to get into the business of converting that. Some here, which I was using for the metal refinery. We need to get to a water geyser. So we need to get exploring. Let's get down into this spot here just to find out what is available to us. Go over across like this. Hopefully that's an interesting geyser. I don't see, well, there's this geyser, but I don't see any other geyser in range except for, well, this carbon dioxide one, so that's not going to help. Other than this one, so it's all on you. You better be something good. 2 skills to give veterinarian. I want to have someone else that can do ranching. And engineer improved, carrying 1 away from mechatronics engineering. Called Rancher back in this room to incubate the 2 eggs. Also listed these eggs here, just so I can see where we are with that. I'm going to direct the dupes to start going up here. Maybe cancel that particular one. We want to get up into this range and block this off. Also see some lettuce here that's potentially available to be eaten. I want to be able to get across. And if this thing is not active, build a wall around it to block it off. It is cycle 20. I just see colony achievement earned. Just curious if that's the locavore achievement. If not, we'll have a look at where we are on that one. Doesn't appear to be the case. So all kinds of different achievements without even trying. But with the locavore achievements, we are nearly halfway there. This is going to be the last cycle for today, so I'm going to make a plan to see what the last action I'm going to make before I call it quits for this time. Okay, so I made my choice. I'm going to start to research sanitization because I want to get a washroom. But before I have that running for any length of time, I also want to make sure that I've got a process to convert polluted water to regular water while removing food poisoning. So we'll start to get that together. So we've got our first pipsqueak that was born. Just going to verify that they can actually be dropped off here. Yep, we are good on that. I'm going to extend the fire pole up just a tiny bit. Take it down just a little bit further. Next thing I'm going to research is this guy here, liquid reservoir. That's going to be important to the system to handle the waste that's going to come from the latrines. So that is it for today. We just finished cycle 20, survived. I have a base set up. We've got 7 dupes. I have no idea whether survival will be able to continue for another 20. Might very much depend on what's on this particular geyser, which we'll have to wait for that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I have no idea if I'm going to be successful or not, but I'll put this up there anyways for you to enjoy. Hopefully I will see you next time.